Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today we have Nick
Hello.
and Brandon.
Hi.
We are here to talk about games and things.
Games and some things.
And I don't know what we were talking about. Nobody's updated the list except Overwatch 2.
No, I did.
That's on there.
We both did. What are you talking
We both
about?
did, yeah. You update your
I
eyeballs?
don't know. You guys must be on the wrong list.
No. Episode 485?
We're on
Wait, no,
46.
486. That's where we updated
Yeah,
the list.
goofs.
Well, I wasn't here, so it's technically
I was.
485.
I don't have an excuse.
Ah, shit. Alright, hold on. I'm just going to copy and paste.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, there we go. I definitely played
Yeah.
things.
So we're gonna play Overwatch. I'm sure Splatoon's still on there.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Nick got his Steam Deck.
I did.
Yeah.
Came in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's where we'll start. I guess.
Yeah. Starting on the
I'm
Steam
sure-
Deck or
I gotta
Overwatch
get-
2?
One
I
of
gotta get
those
my
two.
news.
It's
I gotta
up
get my
to
news
you.
from the other one.
Okay.
Hold on, let me
Nick,
move
let's
the
talk about
news.
your Steam Deck.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about Stadia last week?
Yes.
Fuck.
We
Yeah.
didn't talk about the new thing that you just talked about. We
Okay.
talked
Yeah,
about
the-
Stadia.
I'll talk about that, but I just want to add.
I mean,
to
you
it.
could chime in on stuff from last week. I mean, it's fine.
I will, because I feel like as the resident Stadia owner, I should.
Yeah.
So we're talking about
Yeah.
this. We're talking about the Steam Deck first.
Yeah, let's talk about the Steam Deck first.
Okay, I got mine in the mail.
Okay. And your
on
thoughts?
Wednesday. It's really awesome. I love it. I will say the only negative thing I have to really talk about it so far is the battery life is trash.
You ever
it-
mess with the TDP?
No.
Okay, well, that's how you fix the battery life.
All right, because like I lock it and I'm like, all right, cool. And like I brought it over to my parents' house the other day to show my brother, and it was like dead, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay,
not helpful.
cool.
Look at this
But other
picture, guys.
But other than that, like I have been using it. I've been playing. I downloaded Borderlands on it. I downloaded Fallout on it. I didn't realize I didn't own Cyberpunk I own Cyberpunk on my computer, but I bought
What do
it
you want to
through.
know?
I bought it through a GOG, not Steam, so it
Got
doesn't
you.
come
I
up as
got
a
you.
Steam game.
I got you.
So I
Heroic
do want to
Games
play it
Launcher.
on Steam. Oh,
Heroic Games Launcher is a launcher you can download on the desktop version of the Steam Deck. And when you download that, it allows you to download anything from Epic Game Store or GOG after logging into
perfect.
your account.
Perfect. Yeah, because I was playing it on my buddy's Steam Deck because he's like, oh, they have a graphics mode specifically for Steam Deck. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. What was
It's
hilarious, though...
It's bad.
What's that? No,
It's
it
bad.
worked fine. It
No,
worked
no.
fine.
My point is, so the graphics mode for Steam Deck is actually worse than just putting it at medium or high settings.
Oh. Well,
It
when I
actually
was-
looks far better and runs better.
So-
It may have been fixed by now, but when it first was put out with the little like, oh yeah, this is on Steam Deck, the Steam Deck version specifically, here's our settings. Their settings was awful, and I think that was about in
Well,
July. I think July was when they
yeah,
introduced
so
the
this was
Steam
like
Deck
last
settings.
week.
So like, yeah.
But what was funny about it is my buddy was trying to show me it on his Steam Deck. He's like, yeah, it runs a little bad, but like it's not too bad. And I went to go play it, and it felt like I was trying to play it on a launch PS4. And I was like, dude, this shit's fucked. And he went to the settings and he realized he actually had the game set to ultimate graphics.
Oh my god,
And
what
it
an
was
idiot.
like, it was running. The
Mhm.
frame rate was trash, but it was running. I was like, all right, that's impressive. But then when he dumbed it down to just high or medium, I forget what he put it at, it ran like flawlessly. It was completely fine.
Yeah, it runs
Um,
great.
So like just having it as a mobile PC machine is like
Yes.
really sweet. The dock just came out for it, but they also have a third-party dock you can get to make it a desktop.
Yeah, I bought a third
basically.
party one, and mine came in the mail last week. And I didn't get to talk about it that much, so I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's also why I have Steam Deck written here.
But from what I've used on it so far, I mean, like it works perfectly. It doesn't get too hot, at least on the games that I've played so far.
Mhm.
The user interface on it works really good. It feels like a really well built, solid machine. So I'm very happy with it. I have no complaints with it. It's definitely worth the amount of money that I paid for it.
Mhm. How much did you pay?
I bought the middle one, so I think it was
Okay,
like
so you bought the same one I have. So like
Yeah,
649 or something
yeah,
with
something
tax?
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
which
yeah.
like considering what it is, not bad.
No, 579. That's what it was exactly.
Yes,
579.
So that's why I was like, I'm not gonna buy the base model, but I'm also not gonna ball out. Like I'm just gonna get the middle of the road one, and that'll be enough. And it is honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a grip case for it, so it kind of gives a little bit more of I mean, obviously in the name grip, but I can grip it a little bit better with the case that I bought for it. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to buy a screen protector for it, but the one that I bought like didn't fully adhere to the screen, so I gotta try another one.
Okay.
I also need to mess around still with the custom Steam Deck boots that they just kind of made easier to do.
Yeah.
I was laughing because I saw there was a Futurama one. Somebody made a Seinfeld one. I've seen a Dreamcast one. So like, there's a lot
One
of
for The
cool ones.
Office. I've seen the ones
Yeah.
for the GameCube boot screen, the original
hmm
Xbox boot screen. Yeah, I've seen all those. They're really neat.
Yeah.
That's kind of
So
neat that
like,
you can do that. Yeah.
yep. Um, I haven't tried using any other like
Actually
services.
the more neat thing about that both Nick and Mike is originally the community just hacked the Steam Deck and did it themselves, and then Steam was like, "That's a neat idea. It's
Yeah.
official now," and then they
Yep.
made it official.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's really cool. Yeah. No, I love it. Honestly, I haven't like I don't want to say found a solid use for it yet because the utilization of it is just being able to play whatever game I want from my PC just about except for like VR shit um but it's for when I have used it it's been really cool. I like it a lot. So
It's very good for indie titles.
yes.
Like very good for indie titles, especially the ones that aren't on Switch yet.
Hey, Brandon,
Um,
you got your dock finally too, right?
I did get my dock finally. I got an iVolver dock, which is a third-party dock. I paid like $49 or like something like that. It was a little over half the price of the Steam Deck like official dock, which released a week after I purchased it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. But anyway, yeah, so this thing does 4K 30, which is totally fine with me because of the fact that, I mean, you're not going to be pushing 4K on the Steam Deck. It's just not going to happen, so it doesn't matter. 1080p 60, 1440p 60, that sort of thing. So it's like, okay, cool. That's really all I needed. So I got that. It cost me a little extra because I had it like shipped to me faster. That's why it came up to like $54 and some change. And yeah, it's been really great so far. It's pretty much plug and play. So there's this little thing in the back, which is this cable that comes out the back of it, and then you plug it into the top of your Steam Deck, and then you plug a HDMI cable into the dock itself, and then there's a bunch of USB 3s, and you can plug in like a mouse, a keyboard, and that sort of stuff. And then you just plug that HDMI cable into a TV or a monitor or whatever, and you have a portable PC because I could quite literally just boot into desktop mode using my Bluetooth mouse or using even my PS5 controller with the touchpad, and I can use the entire thing like an actual PC. I can go on, surf the web, whatever, but I also can use it for things such as emulation or what have you. Use it to watch things like Netflix and whatnot. All that good stuff I can do now. And I mostly got the dock because I think my main computer is dying, which is really bad. But I've seen people stream from their Steam Deck. I've seen people do this, that, and the other. I've seen people use like Discord and all this other stuff and play games and just treat it like a normal PC. And essentially, when it comes down to it, that might be what I'm going to have to end up doing. I've tried a few bigger titles on the Steam Deck with the dock enabled. I've played Final Fantasy Remake and it's been totally fine, no issue whatsoever. Um, Obviously, I like cap it at 30, that sort of thing. But that on a 1080p monitor, it's just is no issue whatsoever. It's a lot of fun. I played the Hatsune Miku game, which that's a lot of that was really enjoyable. I just tried a bunch of little things that I had on there installed already and gave it a go on the dock, and I didn't have an issue with any of the things I tried. So yeah, there you go. I quite like the dock a lot right now. It's very nice and very convenient because it also doubles as a charger. So like I just plug it into the dock and it's charging my Steam Deck. So I don't even have to worry about like it's essentially like a Nintendo Switch dock. Only it has one extra cable that has to plug into the top, but it's like whatever. It's super easy to use. So I've been really enjoying that. And I mean, like I said, for half the price of the official one, you can't really go wrong. So yeah. A few things, Nick, that I will tell you that are bad about the Steam Deck, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, sadly.
Oh, of course.
That's that Denuvo exists. Plenty of people are like, what does it matter if Denuvo exists if you're just playing your computer?
Yeah.
You're not going to move your computer, so why do you require online? You'll always be hooked up to the internet, so there's no problem. So any game that requires Denuvo, you can't boot on your Steam Deck if you are not near an online space. So if you were like to take it out somewhere or whatever, or you just wanted to like play it like a handheld, plenty of games just won't work.
That may not be a huge issue, at least for me, only
It is
because.
for me because a lot of the time I use my Steam Deck in
Well,
places like
I'll
doctor's
explain.
offices and stuff like
What I'm
that.
saying
But
is,
yeah.
is like if I can, I'll just throw my phone in the hotspot mode and just check in and be good.
Yeah, and that would be fine. But another one, Easy Anti-Cheat also really fucks up the Steam Deck. So anything that uses Easy Anti-Cheat,
Mhm.
you're not going to run on the Steam Deck unless the actual developer has taken the time to fix it, essentially. So there's that. But otherwise, it's a nice little console. It's a nice little handheld. It's a nice little PC laptop sort of. I mean, and it honestly is a very good stand-in for having a laptop. So, yeah,
That's good.
I like it a lot.
Good. Yeah, I was about getting the dock. I'm just not entirely sure yet, but maybe we'll see.
All right. Anything else on the Steam Deck, guys?
Oh, what about you, Nick? You got anything else you want to share about yours?
Nothing to add. No. Like I said, I like it.
Mhm.
I haven't used it in great length
Mhm.
quite yet, but when I have used it, it's been cool. So.
There's a nifty little feature. You probably already saw it. The verified section. Have you seen that? Like with the
Yes, I
green
do
check
like
marks and
that.
everything.
I do
It's
like
very
that.
nice. It just lets you
Mhm.
know that these games right here, if you were to purchase them right now, are confirmed to work on your Steam Deck just by booting them up.
Mhm.
And that's it. And that's a very nice little feature.
I like that, but I also like that like even the ones that aren't confirmed to work with it, like
Yes,
with
you
some
have the
very
option to
light
try.
tweaking,
Hmm.
they mostly work. Like I played, like I said, Sonic Adventure 2 on it, and like that's not a confirmed to work game
Hmm.
with the Steam Deck, but like it works perfectly fine. So
I'm going to give you a few little tips to help you out. You will definitely need them at some point.
Mhm.
Holding the Steam button and pressing the X button
Okay.
will bring up a virtual on-screen keyboard.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's how you do that?
Yes.
I've been like trying to figure that out.
Yes. If you're playing with a controller and you do get the dock and whatnot, holding the whatever the middle button is for your controller and pressing either square or X or the equivalent of that on a controller will bring up the options for like lowering the power consumption, lowering the frame rate, and locking it to like 30 or what have you, and that sort of thing. And those are also very convenient. I would also recommend if you are playing like a very demanding game, use the little three dots on the right side and just lock it to 30. That will give you a much bigger battery life. For
Okay.
example, something like running Final Fantasy VII Remake. If I use the three dots and I lock it to 30 on the system itself, I get about 2.5 to 3 hours of battery life out of that, which is a
Okay.
lot for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mhm.
So, when you take that into account, some things are just better suited for like locking to 30 and just playing it that way. And at the end of the day, it's like whatever. I'm essentially playing a PS4 title now on the go, and that's fucking ridiculous when
Yeah,
you
that is
think
really
about it.
ridiculous. Yeah.
So, I really like the Yakuza games, and I really like them.
Yeah.
Every
Mhm.
single one of them works on Steam Deck.
That's
So
good.
that is another tip for you. If you ever want to play the Yakuza series, it's perfect for on the Steam Deck. So it's very good, and they're also very cheap
Okay.
often. Um, some games that are marked as verified, I would recommend looking up like YouTube videos because some of them lately, I don't know if they're paying to be marked as verified or if something's just being missed. But for example, like Kina Bridge of Spirits, which just released, is it's not very good on the Steam Deck, and it's marked as verified. So I don't really know
Mhm.
what's going on there. So again, much like you were saying with oh, if it's marked as verified, I'm really happy that I can just play it and then that's it. And if it's not marked as verified, I'm really glad that I can like tinker with it and get it running correctly and this, that, and the other. Yeah, sometimes I really don't know. I think some things have been slipping through the cracks lately. So with the more recent games, I would do some double checking and research before actually purchasing them.
That's fair.
Things like Cyberpunk, things like Elden Ring, those games totally fine. They work perfectly on Steam Deck. In fact, I would argue that Elden Ring actually works better on Steam Deck than it does on like PS4 and that sort of thing,
Mhm.
which is insane to think. So, yeah, just if you have any other questions about it or whatever, or if you like are thinking about buying something, feel free to ask me because I have a lot of resources that can do like little checks and also
Okay.
stuff like that. And like some of the games that you said that you with a little tinkering you could get working. There's have you used like Proton GE and those sort of things? Because if you use that, sometimes the games that won't
No.
work, period, will actually work. And all you have to do is go into the properties of the game in Steam Deck OS, which is just by clicking the cog, and then go to change to the compatibility mode, Proton GE. And a lot of the time, that will fix everything.
So, what I will say is my brother is very well versed in Linux, and basically what the Steam Deck is just a Linux machine that's running
Yes.
Wine and Proton and all that fun shit.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've had any issues, I just go to him and be like, "Hey, this this don't work," and he'd be like, "This is what you do, stupid," and then he fix it.
All right, that's fair.
So
yeah. All right, that's all I got to say. It's great.
You guys ready to
Now-
talk about
that's all I
Overwatch?
got.
Now are we talking about
We
Overwatch
can talk
too?
about Overwatch, yeah.
Okay, all right. You said you wanted to dunk on this game. Let's hear you dunk on it.
It's shit.
Yeah.
All right, see, this is where we're going to differ. I
It's
actually think it's excellent.
No, it's worse.
Y-
It's definitely way worse.
Nope, it's so much better. It's so much better. It isn't even funny.
So, no.
Last week you were
not.
like it's the exact same thing, but you didn't play it yet. So
Well, it's not the exact same thing because it's worse. So, I mean, just from the start, right? They took away a lot of shit from the first game and just repackaged it as a thing that you have to pay for now. I.e., like characters, skins. I had things that I saw right before my eyes kind of happen where like a skin that cost like 1,000 coins that you could easily earn by just playing the game on the first edition.
Yes.
Got locked behind a paywall and cost more money now
That
in
is
the
shit.
second edition.
That is shit.
I've noticed that the changes to the characters have been very detrimental.
I absolutely disagree. Can you tell me
like right now, Torbjorn and Bastion are both locked out of competitive play. Torbjorn is only available in quick play right now, because the changes that they've made to both of those characters have made them quite overpowered and like in some
That's
cases,
not the reason they were locked out.
Game breaking. Yeah, no, they're game breaking and they're overpowered.
That is not the reason they were locked out.
It is though.
No, it isn't. I'll tell you the reason they were locked out. People had made macros that made it so you could continuously use their ultimates without ever having to stop. It was a glitch that was happening in the game, and it was one that made them remove both of them from competitive. So yeah, it was really bad. That was a bad thing that was not checked correctly because people were able to break the characters. But yes, they were not removed just because of balance issues. They were removed because someone found a glitch in the game, and then everyone started using it.
Which again, like, makes me laugh because like this is basically like they just redid the launcher for the first game. Like they didn't.
That's just so incorrect. Like
it's not because it's literally the same game. When my friends were updating it on their consoles, it was called Overwatch version 3.3. Whatever.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right about that. But like, that was just to save on the server shit. They're not going to open a whole new server thing. They're just going to transfer servers over. It has different lighting, it has different play styles, it has different gameplay mechanics. It's no longer shooting at tanks' shields for 3 hours until they finally break, and then having everyone rush in and use their ultimates. It now actually takes some form of skill to play this game, a lot like it originally did when the first Overwatch launched. But then it got completely fucked up by the meta, and it's gone back to what the game used to be like, and it's a much better game.
So,
for
I
it.
mean, them just changing around the meta, like that could have just been like an update. Like they didn't have to
No,
call
I
it
mean,
Overwatch 2.
removing the ability to play as a sixth character entirely, and
Uh-huh.
then not charging you for the quote unquote update, because this is free to play. This is not charged now at all. So like
In
it
some
is.
ways it is. In some ways it is because if you have a brand new account, you don't have access to the past heroes, and you have to grind them out or pay for them in the battle pass.
So I have also heard that, and yes, I do understand that. It does take 6 hours though to complete the entire thing of that and unlock all the original heroes, which is really not that much. Especially since you can't even unlock rank until you have gotten to, I think it
Hmm.
is level 50, I think, or level.
That was locked out. That was locked out, not in that same way, but in a similar way in the first one. I think you had like to play a
Yes.
certain amount of games, and
Yes,
then you
yes,
could
yes.
get in rank.
And those certain amount of games did carry over from the first one, but now those certain amount of games unlocks both the ranked and every single hero once you've completed them.
Hmm.
And that is how they went about that. So I would say that saying that no, technically it's not free to play isn't true, because it is still free to play. It is still doing the exact same thing the original game did, where after you played 100 games or so, you unlock ranked play, but it also is enough games that you have unlocked every character by that time.
Hmm.
And that is how they dish out the characters. This is talking from someone who has been playing with someone that was a free to play player and
Hmm.
learning the like ins and outs of how it worked essentially.
Hmm.
I'm not a free to play player because I had the original game already, so it's not a big deal or anything like that to me. And also because of that, I also had the new character that came out. But having the new character that came out doesn't matter in a competitive sense because you can't play as her in competitive,
Yeah.
because they're locking out the new heroes when they release them for at least one season in between, so that people then, after that season is over, can earn the new hero that will be allowed into competitive in a matter of hours, much like something like Valorant does, much like something like League of Legends does, and so on and so forth. So I don't think saying that it's not free to play is fair at all, because it
Hmm.
is still free to play. It's free to play in the same way that it was before. Now,
Hmm.
what you were saying about the whole, oh, it was just an update to the launcher, that is true. All they did, especially on the PC version, was update the launcher to then swap it over to Overwatch 2. However, I think that the gameplay is so much better from what Overwatch 1 was at the end of its lifespan. And the reason I will say that is before Overwatch 1 ended, I played it for 12 hours, the
Uh-huh.
2 last days that it was up. And that game was miserable with how it currently worked in its
Oh yeah.
competitive sense and this, that, and the other. And taking out just one role and having 5v5 instead of 6v6 is game changing. It does make it a completely different game. It
Yeah.
does make it feel completely different. And I think that if you look at it from that sort of standpoint and the point that we're not paying for this or no one's paying for this, and you take all the other things into account, I do think Overwatch 2 is a really good game. Did it have a shit launch? Absolutely. Is the
Still does.
monetization very, very iffy? Absolutely. Do I think it's as bad as many people are saying it is? I don't. I don't think it's as bad as many people are saying it is, specifically for the reason of what I laid out and what I explained a few minutes ago about how you can't be competitive unless you have you can't even play competitive unless you have every character unlocked. So therefore, people that have more characters unlocked, blah blah blah, than you is never going to be an issue, because that's just how it works with the competitive aspect of the game. And I
Mhm.
like that. That is smart. That's not something that I expected Blizzard to do. I expected it to be more akin to something like the Gundam game, where it's just like, yeah, we don't give a fuck if you have all the characters unlocked or not. Just get stomped, get fucked by
Yeah.
someone that paid $40 for this instead. And that's another reason why I also played the Gundam game, because I wanted to see how all of that stuff differentiated when we went over to Overwatch 2 and when it released. And Overwatch 2 in general is a better game, in my opinion, from a gameplay standpoint than Overwatch 1 is. That's how I feel. I know a lot of other people that I've played with, because I've started playing it with a lot of people, feel the exact same way.
Uh-huh.
They're like, yeah, this is just a update to Overwatch 1. A lot of the thing that makes this Overwatch 2 is missing, which is the PvE. We haven't got that yet. It's not
Nope.
there. It's just the single player currently, and that's totally fine. But the gameplay itself is much less rage-inducing. It feels much more competitive. It feels much faster paced, and it legitimately is much faster paced than Overwatch 1 was.
Mhm.
And as such, it just feels like a very big breath of fresh air and like a better game overall.
Mhm.
Now, all those little issues that you mentioned before, such as like the monetization, yeah, it's really fucking weird. I don't understand what they're doing there. I hope they make some adjustments here and there to it and everything, because looking at the monetization, it's really shit. As opposed to the loot box thing that they had before, and the monetization now of the skins is very shit. I 100% agree with you
Mhm.
there in every way, shape, and form. But like looking at the game from the actual important aspect, which is the gameplay point, I do just think it's a better overall product.
I think Overwatch 2
Uh-huh.
right now, at least gameplay wise, you're right, is better than Overwatch 1's endgame was.
Mhm.
Like the state of that game towards the end.
It was atrocious.
But I also don't think it's better than Overwatch 1 when it first launched.
um
Like I would say that gameplay is still better.
I want to say you are right, but I want to also say that like this is a step in the right direction as opposed to what we had at the end game of Overwatch 1, which
Uh-huh.
was a game that no one cared about anymore because everything was so, all right, do this, do that, do this. Overwatch 2 is so different gameplay wise that
Yeah.
no one actually has a tier list for the best heroes for every individual
Well, that's because they haven't
like
been able to play games.
that's not true. After the second day, all of that was fixed. It has literally been fixed since the second day.
No, that's still not fixed. I
Are
still
you
have
playing on
friends.
console?
No. Well, my friends are playing on console. I'm playing on PC,
Uh huh.
and my friends on console. After that massive online maintenance that they did, we're
Yes.
still getting that error that was locking them out of
Yeah, the
online.
console, the
And
consoles are still
then,
broken, but that also has to do with the crossplay
and
aspect
then
of it.
last night, when they did manage to get on,
Mhm.
it like half of their roster was locked out. Like they
Yeah,
couldn't
that's the
access
same
half
thing
the
I went through
characters.
when I first got on PC. I think they fixed the PC aspect of it. I think a lot of issues have come up with the console crossplay elements of it, because I actually had a friend that had the same thing happen to him, but he plays on console and he was coming from console to PC. And when he was like, I'm not going to play it on console because it's not even working in the first place, he booted up on PC and it worked right away, but a lot of his stuff was left behind. He sent out a ticket and they were like, yeah, we're going to fix that. It is a common issue that's happening to everyone
Uh-huh.
right now, and that sort of thing. So I don't it a lot. Sorry.
Mhm.
We have to wait and see if they actually do mean that they're going to fix it, or if
Yeah.
things do get fixed in a timely manner. But in the current position, yeah, I do think the consoles are getting the shit in the stick when it comes to
Yeah.
yeah.
And then when I was trying to play it the other day, it was like I had to wait like 20 minutes to clear out the players in queue. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
What day was that? Out of curiosity.
Uh, Thursday?
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday. There was
So
still like a pretty hefty queue.
okay.
Um, so, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I have there have been some big queues. I think the longest one of my friends had to wait was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
that was, yeah, it was a long time. And it was because there supposedly last night their actual login servers to log into battle.net were
Uh-huh.
being absolutely destroyed. They were being hammered, and they couldn't tell if it was a DDoS attack or just a lot of people were attempting to play, but they just labeled it a DDoS attack at the time. And yeah, shit sucked. So that weight, that sort of element, garbage. I agree with
Yeah.
you there. And also, like you said, consoles are completely fucked. And
Yeah.
I also agree with you there. That has been an issue that I've been seeing everywhere. That doesn't affect me, but it's bad for the people that it does affect. And
Yes.
yeah, that's shit. That is shit. But I can only speak to my experience, and
And that's fair.
personally, I haven't had any problems since the second day of launch.
Yeah.
I am missing one skin, one single skin, but it's the last group of skins they released, and apparently everyone is missing the last group of skins that they released for the Overwatch original anniversary that came out like 2 months ago or something. Like I had one of the new Lucio skins, and I got it from a loot box, and it doesn't even show up in the game. It's not even on the list of skins. So, and my other friends that had the anniversary skins also aren't having them show up. So it looks like those might just be broken, and those need to be fixed also.
So I don't know. It's just been a messy launch, and
it is a messy launch, absolutely.
I don't know what they're doing with this game, honestly. I don't like a lot of monetization stuff, like I said. And then it just, I don't know. It seems to me like a little bit I don't want to say anti-consumer, but it does definitely seem like it's definitely not consumer friendly, especially for the longtime fans of the series. So it's just
yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I have earned already like legendary skins, but I got them through other means. But the amount of time it'll take you from doing the weeklies to earn a single legendary skin at this point, with the way it's like designed, is just ridiculous, and they really need to go back to the drawing board and like lower it, because it's like 36 weeks to earn one legendary skin,
which is crazy.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
And, that's insane. And when I say weeks, I don't mean like playing consistently for weeks. I mean like doing your weeklies. So like log in, do the weeklies, which the weeklies consist of things like win 3 games in this mode or that mode or what have you, or heal this much as a support character, or block this much as a tank. You know, the usual normal do such and such ABCD sort of things. But like I did those in like one night, and I got fucking 60 coins for it, and I was just like, okay, what? Yeah. I think everything that's not the gameplay of Overwatch 2 has been bad. But I think the gameplay is very good.
Which I also had to fix that because I don't know if you saw, but there was like some of the controller settings were leaking into the mouse and keyboard settings.
I play with mouse and keyboard, so I didn't know.
So I think it was like the smoothing. I forget exactly what it was. But I think it was like the smoothing was like for whatever reason the controller setting of that was leaking into like the mouse and keyboard setting of that. So like
that's
if
weird.
your gameplay has felt floaty at all, that's why.
That is very weird. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, it's had a lot of issues, but I think the game itself is solid. So that's the main part where I was thinking we would differ, because I thought you would just say, yeah, this is just a shit game, and I don't think it's a shit game, but I do think everything that's surrounded it has been shit.
I think mechanically it behaves fine, but I think everything surrounding it is just not good. And like
I think mechanically it's better than the last like 6 seasons of Overwatch.
Correct.
But like otherwise, yeah, I do agree. They need to fix the monetization system. They need to look at some other way to earn coins. They need to. I don't really. I kind of disagree, like I said, about the hero earning for free to play people, because it's teaching them how to play the new heroes as they unlock them and that sort of thing. And they're all playing it in quick play anyway, so it's like whatever. Doesn't really affect anyone in particular, because if you're getting bent out of shape while playing quick play, you need to reevaluate your life in general.
Yeah.
Like that's just not cool. That's where you go to learn things. That's where you go to like try new things and practice and shit.
Correct,
You're not playing competitive. So if someone's playing one of their only like 8 characters or 4 characters and they don't know how to play it yet, it's like whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah. I think it's fine. I think it needs work on the server front and the monetization front, but I don't think this is the worst monetization I've seen from Blizzard. I also like that they stepped back the phone number being required element of it.
They actually had to fix
original
that.
players.
Well, that and for new players, they weren't allowing like prepaid phones.
Yes, that was fucked up. Like people
crazy,
with Cricket, or people that bought like cards and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even though they had a legitimate phone number, it wasn't counting.
which is like ridiculous to me
Mhm.
because it's like how like what's the difference? But because that the other thing is too is like if somebody goes far enough to go buy like a burner phone with a card, just give them it. Like
Just let them play the
you
damn
know
game.
what I mean? Like you're not
Just let them
stopping
play the
anybody.
damn game. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah,
If
but
you're gonna spend that much money and like, just let them play the damn
here's
game.
one play. What are you gonna do?
I agree. That
Nothing.
one was just wild. I didn't really get that one either. It's like, okay, I could see certain like janky things, but you're right. Like if you're gonna go and get like a burner phone, like I don't think anyone's gonna go through that much trouble to cause trouble. I
No.
don't know.
Nick, though, you should have saw what I saw, because the only reason I knew about the Torbjorn thing and the Bastion thing was because I experienced it. The fucking Torbjorn, when he does Molten Core, if you've got your like macros and shit set up correctly, he's just continuously doing it. So it looks like a fucking volcano is erupting
Oh
at
my
everyone
God.
on the field, and it was nuts. It's actually
Crazy.
insane. And then the Bastion one, when you go into his like his ultimate, and he like drops the nukes now because that's his new ultimate. That it, depending on how fast you could click was how many you could drop. So you could click fast enough to crash the entire fucking game by setting up a macro for it. So like people were actually doing that in competitive and things like that. It was fucking nuts. It was bad. It was a bad time.
Yeah.
They got shut off yesterday though. And apparently, since we've been talking, they announced to make up for the time that people have experienced downtime. There'll be free weapon germs, other such things. They'll be giving away free legendary skin. The legendary skin actually looks really good.
It does look cool.
And looks like double match XP weekends that they'll have specific dates. They'll be updating soon to announce when those will be. But yeah, this new Reaper Captain fucking cursed Captain skin is actually pretty neat. Kind of reminds me of
It is really
Barbossa
cool.
from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, that's my rant and conversation piece on Overwatch 2, and I guess yours as well.
Yeah.
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 Yep. Splatoon 3.
Yeah, I guess that's up next.
Splatoon.
So what's new with Splatoon, Nick?
Everything.
Yeah.
I've literally done everything since the last time we've talked.
Okay.
I beat the campaign.
Oh, nice. Did you do that shitty last level too?
What the hidden one, like the challenge one?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I didn't care to, but I did do the full I rolled credits. So
nice. Yeah. What did you think?
Good. I like it. I mean, I thought for what it was, like, it was cool because it got to show me a lot of the different weapons that I probably wouldn't normally use, which is fine. Got me thinking about like combat and whatnot in different ways. So like it was good in that sense of it. And then it was just funny seeing the first two Squid Sisters from the first game. But overall, it was good. Also, they hid the game's best music in the single player.
Yes, they do.
All of the good music is in single player mode.
Well, there's one song. Well, the song from the Table Turf battle, like the last three turn song, is like my favorite song in the entire game.
Good song.
Yes.
Good song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I completed the campaign. So I did that. I did play Table Turf Battle, and like you said, the music in that, all bangers too. I don't play that a lot. I mostly play Table Turf when I'm waiting for my friends to get on.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice time killer where you can kind of not pay attention, but pay attention to the game. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I played some of that. That's fun. And then I also did play Salmon Run. I've played that a considerable amount. Mm-hmm. That took there was a bit of a learning curve with that.
Yes. Because
at first I was like, all right, is it just endless waves? No. Okay. It's actually like the 3 waves. And then just learning how to kill each and every Salmonoid, like boss Salmonoid. Mm-hmm. And like that's been
Oh, sorry, finish your thought.
I know, I would say that's been frustrating too, because I feel like, you know, certain people haven't, like, even me, myself included, like, I didn't know, like, certain things, so, like, when the griller ones came up, I was like, what the fuck do you do with this? And then, like...
That's what I was just gonna say.
Knowing, like,
the game teaches you the basics, Yeah, and then there's like, hey, there's these surprise bosses we didn't tell you
Yeah.
about. Good luck.
Yeah, there's these ones that you have no idea were even coming. I'm like, oh, awesome, great.
Yeah.
So like, but I've been like getting different strategies for those too. But like, yeah, like the high and the low tide, and the one where like everything's just getting basically airdropped in from
Oh, the
above.
mothership. I love that one.
Yes, that one's fun. Although like it's been like annoying because like I think the one day like most of the weapons weren't ranged, so like depending on what round you get into, like you can either be like the most useful person there or the least useful person,
Yeah.
depending on what you get. Um,
Like the
so
last patch, it had the dynamo roller, and I got that on a grillers, and I'm like, I really can't help killing the grillers much, so
yeah,
I'll do what I can.
not much for me to do here.
The tricky thing is, though, with those ones especially the ones where you have like the dark skies, like those kind of like I don't even know what to call them, like special rounds, kind of.
Yeah,
The tricky thing is, especially for new players, is like they don't know where to go. So it's like someone will get like glowflies or grillers, and they'll run away from the group, and it'll be like, "You're gonna die, and we can't come and get you. So get
yes,
the fuck back here." But like that, you'll be like, you'll spam like this way, and they'll be like, "No, I know what I'm doing." And be like, "I know you don't.
no,
I
I
can
know I'm
tell."
good. No, you're not good. You're not good actually. Um, so like I had to learn a lot, and now I'm getting to the point. Maybe you can answer this question where like I've won some like rounds, like all three
Yeah.
rounds of something,
Mhm.
and then like I don't go up in my rank. I've been having
Mm,
that happen.
you should. The only time, so the way it goes is your rank, unless you're like executive VP 999, which I don't think you'd be there yet.
No,
That takes a bit, but um, so you should go up in rank. Let's see. If you lose on the first round, you lose 20 points. If you lose on the second round, you lose 10 points. If you lose on the third round, it's break even, so you won't get any
yeah.
points then. If you win on the third round, then you get 20 points. So you should go up. There's no reason that you shouldn't.
Maybe I didn't realize that we did. I don't know. I don't see.
Sometimes I've realized, like, if I'm not paying super attention, like I'll be like, oh, I thought I was already at like 50, but it's because I forgot I like had a first round fail, and then
Yeah,
then you do the next one, and then you're like, you're right where you were. You just don't notice it. It does happen. I don't know. It's kind of easy to get sucked into the thing there, especially if you're like really into it. Um, so I mean, I could see how that would happen. I've not seen it not give points though. So
okay. Maybe I'm just not paying attention at some points. Because, like I said, it
and you
seems like I played some maps where it was like, oh, you got nothing. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, you'll have things where like once you like for rewards and stuff. Is that what you mean?
No, like your employee
Like your
rank, I
actual
guess.
rank?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one should change every time unless you. The only time it doesn't change is if you fail in the third round, and
Okay,
it's
then
like it's
maybe.
0 points.
Yeah. But
You can
Salmon
check it on
Run,
the app. The app will tell you too.
yeah, Salmon Run is a lot of fun though. I do like
Oh
it a
yeah, I
lot.
love it. I think it's my
I
favorite mode.
I didn't play it in Splatoon 2. Like this is my first time actually playing Salmon Run ever.
Mhm.
And I've enjoyed it quite a lot actually.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Brandon and I talked about it last week, but because Salmon Run didn't come out with Splatoon 2 at launch, so I never played it. Like
Yeah,
because like the times I played Splatoon 2 were like at the beginning when it first came out, and then with Octo expansion, it came back to it. But I never got into Salmon Run, especially 2 because Brandon and I had similar schedule wise. Like it was very like specific times, and I was never there during the specific
yeah.
times either. So I was like, oh well. I mean, this is a great mode. I've never had a problem getting like matches with it either. Like it
Nope.
always seems to be like a lot of fun. I get a lot of friend requests in this mode too. Like people will play with me and they'll send me friend requests.
Yeah, I've
Um,
noticed that too. Like me and my girlfriend will be playing it. She's like, "Who's this?" I'm like, "I don't know, some random person we just played with, I guess."
yeah, but
Mm.
like if you I don't know, I kind of feel like if you get with a good team, like you really like vibe, like you play with them for like an hour or two, whatever. Be like, yeah, sure, I'll be friends with you. Yeah, obviously, it'd be fun to play with again later.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's tricky. The last set of weapons was brutal. I just had like a really like it had what was it, the splatter shot and the dualies, and those are fine, but then it was like
yeah,
the blunderbuster or whatever, and
yeah.
that's
No,
like the shittiest sniper rifle. And then you had the dynamo roller, which is a really powerful roller. Like, don't get me wrong,
Yes.
but it's so fucking slow, and you're just like,
and like not good for like anything in the air.
Yeah, if you have glow flies, God bless. Like that's perfect.
Yeah, have
like
fun.
that's like ideal. But if you have like grillers, no. Mothership,
No.
no. I mean, it's good to like with those, you're just gonna clear the ground. Like that's your job at that point. Just like clean up. Yeah, go around collecting like the eggs. Like don't worry about trying to shoot stuff down from the sky because you're not gonna be helpful. You're just gonna be wasting your time. So it's just kind of some of it just knowing your role, but even then, it's just kind of like not super helpful.
No.
And it just goes through ink so fast too. But yeah, I love the variety. I love that it switches up like it gives you just long enough to get used to the weapons, and then you can kind of like get a new set and everything.
Yeah. But yeah, I checked yesterday. I've dumped 65 hours into this game so far.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, no, I really do like it a lot. It's easily one of my favorite games that I've played this year.
Oh yeah, no, it is for me too. I think it just moved up to my second most played Switch game of all time. So I've definitely put time into it. Although now I'm playing it like a normal person. I've gotten out of the Brandon time loop, and now I just play like, maybe like an hour a day.
Well, when I was sick, I would basically just get up, sit my butt on the couch, and I'm like, all right, let me boot up Splatoon. And like I think I beat the campaign in like 2 days, like just constantly just sitting there playing it. And then, like I said, moved on to other things. But yeah, no, I love it. I think I've pretty much played it at least every day.
Yeah, I don't think I missed a day since it's come out.
Can I share a story with you that I just read that's fucking hilarious?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
VTubers had to apologize for streaming live porn in their Splatoon 3 match.
Oh, I did see that. They were. I think the context that I saw.
I figured that I found the clip. They chroma keyed out their color.
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically, whoever got splatted on more, like you were trying to hide the porn on either one, and like whoever like lost would also get banned because they showed porn.
It was fucking hilarious. I found clips of it. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it was a funny idea. It did make me giggle when I saw it.
It's like, oh god. But yeah, no, I do adore this game.
And we kind of talked about it earlier today, but I am super psyched for the amiibo.
Yes,
and I know you and I just both pre-ordered the new set. So
wait, because I was like, oh no, did he already were these already pre-ordered? I don't know.
Yeah, because they just announced like I think the release date and the costumes for it yesterday.
Yes,
I think it was both of them. At least the costumes for sure. And the costumes I thought looked really cool. Like the one picture I sent you guys, I love that. Like the headgear is like a fishbone coming out of their mouth.
Yeah, it's really good.
You have another one that's like it looks kind of like a Karate Kid outfit. That's what it makes me think of, just kind of like a karate thing. And the last one reminds me of some sort of like medieval kind of. It reminds me of an enemy from Resident Evil, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just kind of like a medieval kind of like armor kind of thing. Not like the knight's armor. I don't know how to describe it. People who are more familiar with those kind of fantasy realms probably can give you a better description. But I thought it looked cool. I think they all look cool, and I think the amiibo look fantastic. Just the design
really
and the
good,
colors, like just they really pop. So
yeah, they are very good. I gotta dig out my other amiibo too.
Oh yeah, did you have other Splatoon ones, or just saying in general?
I have. So like when the Splatoon amiibo came out, I think for Smash, I got those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have any other Splatoon. Like I know I don't have the girls from the second game. I don't have their amiibo.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think I have did they make a Callie Marie one?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, they're all pretty. That's why I was like, you know what, let me just jump on these now. I was like, $15 is a bit steep, but then like if I go to buy them any other time, they'll be like $90 a piece. So
yeah. And 15's now more like the running cost of amiibo, just because of the higher quality of them.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
which I do like the small fry amiibo. I do because I like small fry.
Oh yeah, except in Salmon Run, because then he can fuck himself.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that always just kind of like when they kill me, I'm just like,
yeah, bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, it was just one hit. Like you can't do that much.
No.
But And I don't know if you saw it too. We talked about it last week, but in the general chat, they put up somewhere Nintendo showed off the new Smash amiibo, the Sephiroth and the
Yes.
Tekken. The Sephiroth one looks sick. Like, it
Yeah, they
looks
do
really
look
good.
nice. They're huge too.
Yeah, DJ was at the Nintendo World Store this week, and I was like, "Can you steal it for me?" That's where it is.
Oh my god.
So
Good luck with that.
I know. He's like, "Do you need any of these little figures?" I'm like, "I have them all."
Any of these little figures? Was he a mom?
I know.
Do you need these
Well,
for your Nintendo?
I got him to buy me more of the Koopalings. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Now I'm just missing Larry and Iggy,
Okay.
which I mean they're all great. You really can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, I might be going up back to New York in a month or two. So I always stop at the Nintendo store because they always have like cool shit there. I'm like, ah, okay.
Well, my sister, I sent her up to the Nintendo World. She's going up to New York City next week. I sent her up to look for the last two. So I was like,
Okay.
now that DJ came home with 5 of the other ones, I'm like, I might as well get the last two.
Yeah.
So,
Gotta
but
complete the set.
if she doesn't come back with them, I'll hit you up.
Yeah, because my girlfriend usually likes to go up for Christmas time.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
like, all
it's a
right,
good
we'll
time to
go
go.
up. So I think we might go up like the first week of December when it's not like crazy.
We also had when DJ and I went. I don't know if you remember. We went like 3 years ago. We went that week, like after Christmas but before New Year's, and that was kind of a nice time too.
Okay. Yeah, no, we went, I think the last time I think it was like a week or so before Christmas. And it was
That was
fucking
probably nuts.
stupid. And like my one leg was like locked up by the end of the day because I was wearing just the most incorrect shoes. And like I think I was wearing like my Sperry's or something. I forget exactly what they were not supportive at all. And like when I was trying to walk back to the train station to catch our train, like every step that I took on my one leg, it just was like just pain
That
up
sounds
my
awful.
entire. I was like, oh, because we were there for like 8 hours and just walking the whole thing.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's very. That's the one thing I always find about big cities. It's easy to walk around, but you don't realize like you're like, oh, it's just the block. Yeah, it's
oh
just the
no,
block in New York City is a lot different than a block at home. I promise.
yeah, yeah. A New York City block is painful,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll probably be back up there, like I said, for Christmas time. So
Nice.
let me know.
Yeah, I will. And then I'll talk about the one last thing I've been playing because I got sucked into one of my old obsessions again.
Oh yeah.
I think we've talked about it before. Like you guys know how I get into like, like different moods of like Nintendo things. Like obviously like Mario
Yeah.
Zelda or just Nintendo in general, or like Jurassic Park. That's another
Mhm.
one of the ones I get sucked into every once in a while. This one I'm sure I've talked about it on the podcast before, but it's been a while. I got sucked into Clue. Clue. It's one of my favorite board games ever,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and I love it. And I just counted earlier today. I have like 20 different versions of Clue. Like
Oh God.
yeah, there's a lot. And they're not all like, and I'm not talking like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons version. Like, I just saw one. It was like a tool set based version of Clue. I don't even know how you do that, but apparently,
What the
no.
fuck?
yeah, it's like Nick probably knows the brand, like Skillon or something. Skillon, I don't know.
Snap on.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds it. It was like the mechanics toolkit Clue version, and I was
Probably
like,
Snap on. Yeah, probably. Snap.
yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know why they need their own version, but that's cool. Like everyone has a version. They have Friends Clue. They have Golden Girls Clue. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have those. I have like all the cool ones. Like I have like Clue, like the Great Museum Caper, and like
I would play any version of that just because.
Yeah.
of Clue.
Yeah, just if you could throw me as a wacky version of it, I'll be like, yeah. I think
Yeah.
Clue for me, my interest goes up the wackier the version it is.
Oh, and there's some like crazy ones.
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously you have like the theme ones, but like there's versions of the board game. Like there's lots of like spin-off versions of the board game too. Like one of the popular ones is like the VCR mystery game.
Is there a horror version of it?
They made an It version of it. I just saw that.
Oh, okay.
Like an It spin-off. But the one, so I got sucked back into it because I was like, this is what I do with Clue. Like I'll just, if I'm at like a store or whatever, like I'll browse through like the board games quick, and I'll be like, oh, there's a new version of Clue, and I'll pick it up. And so like this last week, I found one, and I got like really excited about it because they made like this like kind of like escape room version of it. where you kind of get like cards that have clues on it, and you have to kind of like solve your way out of the mansion, and like the board is kind of like a modular, like as you unlock doors and stuff, you get to put down more pieces of like the board to like explore the whole mansion. And I was like, that sounds really cool. I haven't gotten to play it yet. I've only looked at the box. So I'm waiting for like our get together when we do like game night. Cause I'm like, oh, it looks really cool. But then I was like, well, let me look into other versions of Clue and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, so this tells you like how out of the loop I've been with Clue. Apparently, they killed off Mrs. White. Did not know this.
What?
Yeah, they did it years ago. Apparently, even and to the point that I owned versions of Clue without Mrs. White and never noticed it.
Oh.
Because I was like, oh, here's a new.
She got permadeathed.
That's how I felt about the fucking thimble being gone.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and I don't.
We got permadeath too.
And like, it is kind of a weird thing because I was thinking about it because they were like, well, we wanted, Mrs. White's like an outdated stereotype, and we wanted to update her with like someone new, so they put in a female Asian doctor. Cool, don't really care. I mean, that's fine, but it's kind of like you could have just made Mrs. White a female Asian doctor. You didn't need to like.
I was gonna say also, hey, aren't we just moving into another form of stereotypes now with that one?
Well, I was gonna say I don't think I ever had an actual visualization or characterization of what any character in Clue looked like.
Well, it's interesting because it's like depending on the version, like they change very much.
Yeah.
Like even if you go back to like the old versions, like there's old versions of Clue where Miss Scarlet was Asian and now she's, a white woman. There's a version of Clue where Mrs. White is, African American. There's versions of Clue where like Mr. Green's African American. Like there is no set like title. Like there's even ones where like in Europe, Mr. Green's like a reverend, and here he's not. Like they give titles, they switch them back and forth all the time, but it's always just kind of been about like the colors. And white kind of pops out against the other ones. The new one's orchid, which is kind of like a pinkish color, and you already have red and you already have purple, so it's kind of like like Clue's just always kind of the classic coloring. I don't really care much about the ethnicity behind the pawn. It's just kind of like whatever. And I actually kind of tie this back into video games because I decided to buy the Switch version of Clue because I did that. I was looking and I was like, oh, this looks like it's a pretty decent version. It'll be nice because then I can just play it by myself or online because it's got online multiplayer and see. But it's interesting, kind of like what sold me on it was you have your classic characters, but they brought in all the characters pretty much that have ever existed in Clue. So you have some of the old classics like Monsieur Brunette, like Miss Peach. You can play Mrs. White, but then they have like themed ones too, where they have like vampires. They have like a Wild West one. And interesting to this point that we're talking about too is like pretty much every character. There is no like set look to them. Like in the standard version, Professor Plum is just kind of like what you would imagine, like a professor in his tweed jacket or whatever. In the Sherlock version, it's Constable Plum, and he's a kind of plumpish black man. And then there is like the Hollywood version too, where he's just kind of like this large businessman. So it all just kind of like they don't have any stereotypes for any of the characters. It can just vary pretty wildly. And I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Like it's about the color, not the people behind it. Which I said, I think that's kind of more what it is. But to the game itself, it actually is. If you like Clue, it is actually a pretty nice version. I was actually pretty happy with it. It has 6, 8, I think 10 different boards you can play on. I think you have, and like I said, you have like the main 6 characters. You have Dr. Orchard is there. You also have the ones that were from like the early 90s that were kind of like the master detective ones, like Gray, Peach, Brunette, Madame Rose. Then you have the ones that were from like the early 2000s, like Prince Azure. I don't remember who else was there already. Rusty, Meadowbrook, like those ones are all in there. They added Sherlock Holmes characters because they did a Sherlock Holmes theme board, which actually I think might be my favorite in the set. But you have like the classic mansion, you have all the different stuff. You can play online, you can play local co-op with your phone. It has like a free app you can download that does like the Clue card for you. It's it's a very nice looking game, like stylistically. It plays really smoothly. It handles a lot of the back end stuff that I think players for Clue can struggle with, like the note taking stuff. It will help you with the basic note taking stuff. Like, hey, this person does not have this card, and this person has this card. Like, as you see it. But if you want to go into like the deeper deduction stuff, like obviously you can still do that. Like if you are a card counter, you can be like, well, I've already seen all 3 of Nick's cards. I know he does not have any others. And you can cross them out. So like those options are still there too. So it really does kind of give you like a nice gameplay like balance. Art style is like impeccable. Like I said, the board play just plays really nice. It's really smooth. You got tons of options for how you want to play. And the variety of characters is really nice too, because it's not like you just have one Mrs. Scarlet. You have like 10 different Mrs. Scarlets, like one from each version. So it's like, oh, you want to be Tropical Beach Miss Scarlet? Go for it. You want to be Wild West Mrs. Peach? Go for it. Like you got tons of different things to play with. So if you like Clue and you like the digital versions, it's iOS, Steam, and Switch, I guess. And it looks like too, it's been a popular streaming game. Like I was looking on YouTube, like there's tons of people like streamers playing it, which I never knew.
Oh,
That was
okay.
a thing. But yeah, it's a pretty solid version. Because I know some board game versions can be pretty spotty. Like I don't know if you guys ever played like I even remember like the old like Clue on like Super Nintendo or
Yeah.
whatever. The computer fucking cheated. Like here it actually you can kind of like piece together like how it is. The AI settings are like pretty good. Oh, Monopoly on the NES was just vicious. They were just
Actually, you know what's funny? I do own that, and it is vicious.
It had great sound effects though. It had like one of my favorite like
Very satisfying sound effects, but it definitely, I feel like, caused irreversible psychological damage to me.
But it also made me play by like the actual rules of Monopoly. Like I never knew about like the whole like
Yeah.
auction system. Like I didn't know you're supposed to auction
Yeah, I
stuff
don't know
off
what
and
the fuck
people
that
buy
was.
it. Nobody plays Monopoly right. I've realized that
No.
over the years. Like everyone has their own house rules.
Yeah,
and,
every
like,
time I've played Monopoly, it's been somebody else's house rules.
yeah, like the free parking thing, like everybody does that, but that's not a rule. You're supposed to auction off if someone doesn't lands on a property and doesn't buy it, it's supposed to be immediately auctioned off. I've
Yep.
never, ever seen anyone do that
No.
playing Monopoly. Never. That's why. Yeah, so it's pretty good. I'm interested. I mean, it looks like they're working on more like board game projects. I mean, I don't know if I would buy like other ones. I don't know. Monopoly might be one I would buy too. I already have Civilization 6, so it's not like I need Risk. I feel like that's just super Risk. Yeah, no, I'm very satisfied with this. So if you like Clue or you like some of their other board game projects, I would say like check it out. I don't know how the other ones are, but they're comparable quality to this, then I think you'd probably be pretty happy. That's all I got to say about Clue. I just have lots of clues.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys ready to move on to news?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you guys think about this Mario movie trailer?
Oh, that's fine.
I mean, I know what you already thought, because we kind of talked about it, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jack Black's spot on, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is great.
Yeah, fantastic. The internet's like crying about Chris Pratt, which honestly, I don't think we've heard enough to make an actual judgment call yet.
Mm-hmm.
We heard him say like what, one sentence maybe?
Basically.
Yeah, like.
And in that sentence, he was like confused as fuck. So it was clearly like a.
I will say though,
origin
somebody took
stories,
the audio and dubbed it over and like put it on like Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers, and it does sound
very
like
close.
Your brain does fill in the blanks for that.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you seen the fucking dubbed audio of Bowser? Or just like the penguin says like do you fuck, what was it? What was the penguin?
Do you yield?
Do you yield? And then it like slowly zooms in on Bowser and it has a dubbed over Jack Black voice. He just goes, "Fuck you!"
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
It's so good.
I think the only other one I saw, and it was really dumb, but it was like someone went over and did like the like original sound effects kind of thing over the video trailer. And it was just
I saw someone
like,
remake the trailer using the original game's assets. That was cool.
See, that would be much cooler.
I saw
And,
that.
That's
I
funny.
don't know where I saw it, but I saw it like the other day. It was really cool.
I mean, I think visually, the game looks,
Mhm.
or another game, the movie looks fantastic. Like, I don't have any complaints there. Listen, honestly, the trailer just really didn't leave me. I'm pretty satisfied with what I've seen so far. I'm interested in seeing more. Like, obviously, this is just kind of like an early trailer,
Hmm.
but I mean, I think it looks pretty good. It sounds
I
like
think it
they're
looks good
on
too.
schedule for April. I think is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I plan on seeing this no matter, even if it
I
was just
found
Chris
it.
Pratt's voice coming out of Mario's mouth.
I'm gonna post it in
I'm
general.
watching it.
Here you go.
Well, I guess people were jealous of like the French Mario.
It did
Oh,
sound
the
better.
French Mario sounded good.
It
Yeah.
says there we go.
Mine says it can't be played.
Just click it and view it on the actual
He
thing.
does look like the penguin from the Backyardigans, though.
I don't know what the backyard is.
That's funny.
It's very good.
I gotta share with you guys. It sucks because nobody's gonna be able to see this, but there's a photo that I saw that I made it my profile picture in a different server because of how fucking funny it is. Let me see if I can find it real quick on my phone.
I got another, the Jack Black one. This one's good too. Damn, both my videos can't be shared. That sucks. I guess it's because they have over millions of views.
So if you can't tell what the bottom picture is, they photoshopped the guy whispering into George Bush's ear at him reading stories and made him look like the penguins. Always fucking gets me. I don't
You
know
like
why. It just
you
always
like
gets
the
me.
you like the one I posted?
Yes, I did.
The first one or the second?
The first one. I didn't watch the second one.
Oh, watch the second one real quick. It's also 11 seconds.
I'm looking at the second one right now. I like the first one better. That's funny though.
Oh my
Who's
god.
the other sax guy?
The video of him doing the sax.
Have you never seen Jack
No, it's
Black do
great.
the saxophone, Mike?
No.
Oh,
Is that
dude.
Jack Black?
Yeah, that's Jack Black. That's Jack
Oh, I
Black
didn't
doing the
recognize him.
saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a video where he's on one late night show and they're like talking about his musical prowess and everything, and he like grabs like a kindergartner kid's fucking saxophone thing. He's like, a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, motherfucker, and he just starts playing the
Yep.
saxophone that's like made for kindergartners along with the group that's
With the actual
the
band that's
nighttime
there.
band and everything, and it's going along perfectly with the band.
Oh wow.
It's really good. It's really funny. Anyway, yeah, no, sorry, that's a lot of stuff that no one would be able to see. Sorry. Sorry for your editing, Mike. Anyway, yeah, about the Mario thing.
Mhm.
Like I said, this is clearly an origin story. Random dude from New York gets teleported to the Mushroom Kingdom, and I think that's why it just sounds like a random dude from New York.
Yeah.
So that. I think people are overreacting about his voice. Like, I don't think this is actually Mario, but I don't think it's actually Mario because it's supposed to be like Mario before he became Mario. So
Yeah.
It looks like it's his first visit to the Mushroom Kingdom.
yeah,
kind of how
absolutely.
they make it seem in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm not worried about what there's nothing we've seen so far that I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so terrified about what may happen here. In retrospect, I didn't even realize that was Key as like Toad or whatever.
He was
like,
good.
Yeah.
He was good though.
He was very good.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess the only voice, if you're going to say anyone might be questionable, is Chris Pratt. But like I said, I don't really even think we heard enough to be like, yeah, no, it's not. It's not good. We don't know. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's too early. Wait till
Yeah.
they get like a full, like actual trailer with him in it. I mean, what we've seen so far of Jack Black though, like the Bowser scene sold me on Jack Black. I think I was
Yeah.
actually worried about him a lot too. But
I
like
wasn't worried about Jack Black. He's
he
very
nailed
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
definitely
worried
nailed
he was
it.
going to be more like Bowser and Mario Sunshine. Like,
Mm.
hello, Junior.
Oh yeah.
But he actually sounds exactly like how I would imagine Bowser to be if he was talking. So I really could not. I like as much compliments as I could give Jack Black for that. Like, he did great. So.
Yeah,
I wait to hear Charlie Day as Luigi.
Yeah. Oh, we kind of can in that trailer, but only him screaming, and it just sounds like Charlie Day screaming.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But no, what I was gonna say is, when they did like the 2 interviews between Mario and Bowser on the Direct, like Jack Black seemed like a kid on Christmas Day that was super excited, and then Chris Pratt seemed like a guy who was reading off a teleprompter.
Well, I was laughing because I saw somebody said it sounds like in the video Chris Pratt says Koopas, but like the way he says it makes it sound like a slur. Because like how hard he says the K in Koopas.
Stomping on those Koopas.
Yeah, like
Whoa,
yo, bro.
Chris, whoa, bro, take a
It
step back, man.
felt bad. Like I know it's not one, but I felt slighted by it.
Yeah, my man talked about the arcade game of all things, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
Well, that's like just Mario Bros.
I believe him though that he played that because I feel like if he
No.
was trying to pander, he'd be like, "Yeah, I played Mario 64."
No.
Yeah.
He sounded like a dad that is talking about your Nintendo handheld console system,
Bro.
and you have a Game Gear.
Yeah.
That's what Chris Pratt sounded like in that interview. But
That's,
Jack
I
Black
believe that. I
sounded
mean,
like
how much he actually played, though, I think is like another thing. But I was like, oh, because I feel like Mario Bros is like the weird arcade choice. Like if you're gonna go to one, like Donkey Kong would
Yeah.
probably be like, oh, I played hours of Donkey Kong or whatever. Like Mario Bros is like the competitive thing for Mario Brothers 3. Like
Yeah.
nobody plays that game.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it was an arcade title originally.
No, I know. I know that. I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, if you're gonna go to like arcade Mario, like, I feel like most people would be like Donkey Kong. Like that is
Yeah, that's fair.
that was the quintessential like Mario arcade game
Mm-hmm.
that everyone played. I don't know if I've ever, maybe once, I think I actually saw an actual like Mario Bros arcade machine.
I've
think
seen
I've
an
it,
arcade
like,
machine.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it once or twice. On
Like
like
the
Nintendo
tables.
multiple thing.
Yeah, well, no,
Mhm.
I've seen the like stand-up arcade machine,
Oh,
but
I think I've only ever seen a table for it.
my grandfather, maybe it was the Donkey Kong one. Now that I think about it, I don't know. My grandfather used to work on like anything CRT related,
Mhm.
so like the cathode tube things and arcade machines were like a big thing I grew up around and that sort of thing. He even had like an entire room dedicated to them essentially, but for like repair and stuff. It was really cool. So I've seen a lot of arcade machines, but they didn't work. But he had 3 that did. Those were cool. He had Miss Pac-Man, Mr. Do, and Eyes.
Someday I will own an arcade machine.
I have owned 3 technically at one point, and yeah, I don't own any now. I did see a really cool thing though. Arcade One Up is
those
giving
are
up
awesome.
is giving up on the arcade machine. Not actually, but they are doing another brand of arcade machine, which
Uh-huh.
is a screen projector.
Oh yeah, I
That's
did see that. That's
inside-
really cool.
Yeah, it's inside the table. And then the table is the joystick, but the screen projector projects the game onto like a wall for you. And then like it's like only $200, which is actually very cheap for something like that because you get
Oh,
a
that's
screen projector
interesting.
and like 20 games in one. So yeah, it's neat. I saw it like a few days ago, I think. I think I saw it on Walmart. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
like
I just pulled it up. There's a listing on Walmart here. It's Walmart Projectorcade.
yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I think some of the arcade one-up machines look awesome, and I'd love to have them, such as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ones. They're fucking lit.
Yeah, that's a neat. And the other thing is too. This is, I feel like, more space friendly
Yes,
to some
I think
degree.
so too.
And probably
it'd be-
a lot less of a pain in the ass to set up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I'm seeing a very expensive one here. I saw one cheaper because it says $415. I saw one for $199.
That's the one I'm looking at. Is $199.
Where's
And it's
that
got
one at?
classic Namco games. I will post it in the thing. Walmart.com.
Oh, I see it. I see it now. Yep. Yeah, it's got like fucking Mappy World, Pac-Man, Galaga, Xevious, Dig Dug. Oh, Dig Dug's really good. That was one of the arcade cabinets my grandfather had that worked. Yeah. Neat thing. Very neat thing.
Yeah,
And
really neat.
I think yeah, like you said, I think that would not take up that much space and be awesome.
Nah. I do like the projector though. That is really cool.
I
Yeah.
like the removable arcade stick. You see
Yes.
how like you can swap it out with different ones? That's
Yeah.
sick.
I hope the quality is better because I know on the initial ones the quality was like not the best.
So I've used some of the more recent ones at like a store, and like even for something being beaten up at a store repeatedly, it felt still pretty good. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. Like I think I played the Simpsons arcade one.
Yeah, they do
Wow.
make one. I saw that on here while I was looking. They got a bunch of different ones, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. They're like $200 now, so like they're way more affordable.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm good.
we move on to the next story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Take it away.
New VR headset was announced.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
Is this the $1,400 one?
$1,500 one, Brandon.
$1,500 one. Isn't this one not for games?
No, this is for games, Brandon.
I
This is
thought
the
this was for
MetaQuest.
creating them, not
So
for
this is
playing
the
them.
MetaQuest Pro,
Okay.
and it's for both. You can do both with it.
Okay.
So MetaQuest Pro is the new VR headset from Meta, formerly
Mhm.
Oculus. They're billing it as something that you can use as a creator tool for whatever. But they're also saying that it's fully backwards compatible with the entire Quest 2 library. It's just got much more advanced hardware, a smaller headset, better controllers, much better internals. It has a Snapdragon XR2 Plus processor in it, which is like leaps and bounds better than what's in the Quest 2.
Mhm.
And then they also made Xbox Cloud Gaming available for it as well.
Only for this one?
Yep. Oh,
No.
Quest 2 as well.
Okay, I was gonna say I have a Quest 2 and I saw an announcement that
So
it's going to Quest 2.
you can't play the games in VR, but what you can do is hook up a Xbox controller to your Quest or your Pro, and then you basically just have like a big screen on your face. So,
Okay.
but it's $1,500.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's a
it
lot
better
of
be
money.
fucking good.
It's more expensive than the Valve Index.
I would not buy this only because it's tied to Meta. So,
I mean, it's not Facebook anymore. You don't have to log in with it.
no, I mean, it's still Meta is Facebook.
Yes, it is.
Well, what I meant is you no longer have to log in with it. Is what I meant.
I'm interested to see when they announce like a new Quest, but we shall see.
This is the new Quest.
Nah, they need to make the good thing about the Quest 2 was that it was a low price consumer entry level market item. This is not.
Yeah,
this is not that.
I do like the Quest 2. It's nice.
So, if you have a lot of money and if you have enough money to buy 3 PS5s but don't have the availability to buy a PS5, you get a MetaQuest Pro. It comes out on my birthday, so get it for me for my birthday. So that's all I have for that. And then like if I could play the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme for this next one because it just makes me giggle. I'm so sad I wasn't here last week to talk about the Stadia stuff. But Stadia obviously is shutting down, which was news to a lot of fans, all three of them, as well as the developers who were still actively making games for the Stadia, because they pretty much found out the same day. And there's a lot of developers now who are being basically fucked because this was the only platform they were planning on coming out on, and now they need to scramble and figure out, what to do. But the funniest thing about this whole thing, right? So this past week, Google had like a lot of announcements of things. So like, they had new phones announced, new watches, and like personal computer things like that. Today they had a Google Play, whatever the fuck it was, where they announced a trio of new Chromebooks that were built by Acer, Asus, and Lenovo. These Chromebooks are built for cloud gaming, and are being built with Xbox xCloud, GeForce Now, and Luna. And then basically the Chromebooks they're more geared towards gaming. So they have 120 hertz display, RGB keyboards, Wi-Fi 6E, DTS and force canceling speakers, Intel i5 plus processors, and 8 gigs of RAM. You're probably not going to be playing any of the games locally. It's just going to be all streamed. But I do find it funny that like the week after they say, "Hey, we're killing our cloud gaming service," they launch dedicated laptops that are being built for cloud gaming.
I know, too soon.
And I think what's even more annoying about it too is like I don't know if you guys got into this or not when you talked about it. Um, the controllers for Stadia, once Stadia goes belly up, they're e-waste. They can't be used with anything else.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
talk about that. It is kind of. I mean, I would hope that they would make it so that they could be used on other because
Yeah,
they're decent
so
looking controllers at least. I don't know what your
I
thoughts on
will I will say with me having used one, they are decent controllers. Like
Okay.
they're not bad. Like I would place them above a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, but below an Xbox or a PS5 controller. And I'm just putting them above a Switch controller just because the quality is better. I don't know if like any of the dead spots or anything are necessarily better. But the controller itself definitely does feel better built. Um, but yeah, so like they should definitely release an update for these fucking things that you can use them for at least for a Chromebook. You know what I mean? Or like something. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have two controllers in my house because I have two Stadias. I only bought one. I don't know if you guys touched on that, but they did give out free Stadias to subscribers of YouTube Premium and still couldn't get enough player base to keep it alive. So I don't know if that's more indicative of how bad Stadia was or how many people subscribe to YouTube Premium.
Well, I know we talked about last week basically how, like, just now that it's officially dead, some of the developer like commentary that had come out was basically like our conversations with Google were basically like they have no clue what they're doing at all,
No.
and they just kind of seem like.
Oh, I heard another thing since then. I don't think we talked about this, but essentially, it was developers were never like told about it. Essentially, like that it was coming to the point where there were people all the way up until the Monday before it was announced, having conversations with their Google Stadia people on the porting of their game that would be coming up next month. And
Oh yeah.
none of them were warned about what was going on. So these
So
developers were still spending money getting everything set up for Stadia and ready and whatnot, and still working on games for Stadia without being told, "Oh, by the way,
what's funny
this won't be here next month."
is like people have now got to witness Google's incompetence at a large scale because as somebody who is a long-time Google ecosystem user, because I have all the Google Smart stuff for my house, I've had Pixels for years. Google always finds themselves in a situation where what the products that they have is the products themselves are fine. Like looking at the Stadia at a very basic level, you're getting a 4K Chromecast, which is actually a really cool device. Like if you don't have a smart TV or a smart TV that can, do 4K or whatever, like the Chromecast is actually a really nifty little thing. I can beam my YouTube videos from my phone to it all the time, or I can do Spotify. Like it definitely does a lot because my TV in my living room is not a smart TV. So like it's definitely cool for that. The product itself is very good. But they are just so incompetent when it comes to listening to their community and basically advertising what they have. Because like thinking about it logically, right? The Stadia came out right before the pandemic, where we had GPU shortages, computer shortages, console shortages.
Yep.
Like you could not have been set up more for success and still drop the ball so just massively that it still failed. Like in theory, I can use Stadia on my PC, my phone, my laptop, whatever. But like they could not capitalize on that, and I don't know. It's just because like they didn't know how to market their platform, or if they just didn't market it at all.
Well, you remember how bad those advertisements were when it came out, don't you?
Yeah,
They
They
were
were
awful.
just horrid. Yeah.
yes.
And I agree. Like I don't think they really. I mean, I think streaming games is a tough sell to begin with because it's not something that. How do I put this? Like not too many of like the big consoles have dabbled in it yet.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people have had a taste for it. There's a lot of skepticism about it, just because of like lag or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of like they're going into it like a tough way there. But then, even if you're going to go into that space, like you said, they do have lots of advantages there with everything else that's going on.
Uh-huh.
And they really didn't leverage it. They could have been like, hey, you can't get your PlayStation 5 yet. Like, hey, we have PlayStation 5 quality graphics on the streaming device for a quarter of the cost. Like, they could have gone that route. They didn't.
Well, the other thing is too is like I think their catalog was extremely lacking because like when Xbox launches their service, right, and how PlayStation has their services, like when you go into these things, like at least for Xbox, I know you have a lot of day and date games.
Yeah.
For PlayStation, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but
No.
you at least have like recent things.
No.
Well, like within the last couple of years, things was what I'm saying. Like,
You mean for like the streaming stuff? Or
yes, or like even if you're not paying for like a streaming service like PlayStation Now, like my buddy
PlayStation
used to
Now
have
gone.
his or whatever the fuck it was called. My buddy now, or he used to when he lived in Colorado, his brother would turn on his PlayStation in New Jersey, and he would remote play all the way from Colorado on his phone, and it would work fine. So like, I think
I mean,
that's
that
the
would
other
just be
thing
a
is
remote play. That stuff's fine. That stuff works
what I'm
perfectly
saying
fine.
is I think what Google was lacking too was like it's like, hey guys, here's the newest game to our system, and it was like Borderlands 3,
Yeah.
and I'm
Well,
like,
they
okay, well
had
that's been
some
out.
games on their system that others did not have. Like they were the first to have the updated version of Judgment from the
Yeah,
Yakuza series.
But
They
also,
were the
one of the
first to
rumors that
have
came
like
out.
several indie titles. They were the only people to have several indie titles, but they
yeah,
just fucked it up. They were just abysmal at it.
I would say one of the rumors that also popped up though is they passed on like some sort of sequel to Death Stranding.
they did.
Like, so I mean, it's just you have to like it's. I I still think it kind of comes back to like they really just didn't have a vision for this product. It's like they wanted to be the first in the market, but it's like now that they're there, they're like, what do we do with it? And they're like,
Yeah,
They were
I don't
very
know.
clearly in over their heads and had no idea what the fuck to do.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
interesting. I mean, kind
But I
of like
mean,
a
so Google has kind of had that issue even with the gaming side. They had one of the like quickest turnarounds for a game being released and immediately canceled. They actually released a game, I think it was in 2020, if I recall correctly, that had just came out of beta. It got released, and it lasted 2 days before it was canceled, and it lasted a month before the entire thing was discontinued.
was that Google or was that Amazon? I think that was
Ah,
Amazon.
fuck, you might be right. It might have been Amazon. I might have gotten the two confused. So very sorry
Yeah.
about that. You're right. Amazon fucked that one up. I remember now. My bad.
Let me
Yeah,
see here.
Google's also stupid, but they're only stupid through streaming stuff.
they're stupid on other things too.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
Crucible. I think
we
was the
just were
one.
complaining about them with YouTube last week, Brandon.
Yeah.
Man.
So like that's what I'm saying is like Google has a lot of great products, but like for the most part, like they don't know how to really capitalize on anything that they have, and I think like they just need to focus a little bit more because they're trying to be like one of these companies that do everything, but they don't execute everything flawlessly. And like I think Stadia really had a chance. It honestly did, but like the fact that they just didn't do anything with it is what killed it. The
Feel
good
like
news
oh, sorry.
is, I'll say the good news is I'm getting refunded all of the money I've ever put into it, which I think at this point would be a little less than $200, but that's
That's
like
nice.
a couple of games and like the Stadia Day One edition that I bought. So
And honestly, too, this kind of seems like I think the other big misstep for Stadia, I would think too, just kind of like while we're thinking about this here and like the refunds or anything, like this honestly kind of seems like something that should have been like a long game kind of thing, anyways.
yes,
Like, hey, the service is out here, build it up, start integrating it into TVs or whatever, make it like a rental service or something. Start building up your catalog, and then in a few years it's like, hey, Stadia has all this stuff here, it's really cheap, you don't no obligation, just kind of hop on with the equipment that you already have. That would probably be like, a more ideal way to do it. It kind of just seems kind of wild that they're just kind of like, no, we're absolutely finitely done. Like every refund, everything ever that ever was purchased.
The issue with Stadia is you had to purchase individual games. That was a really big issue with Stadia. If you look at something like PS Now, you had rental options, which made it cheaper, and also in the later portions of PS Now, it just worked essentially like Game Pass. And if you look at xCloud, it's the same thing. Like, I don't understand why they went with buy to play. Not even any form of
that is really
trial.
weird, yeah.
It's just a stupid idea. Because like if you even look at the worst version of streaming, which I'm going to point to the Nintendo Switch, the worst version of streaming platforms. I'm pointing to the Nintendo Switch now that Stadia no longer exists. When they release a cloud version of a game, you have 10 minutes to try it. You have an hour to try it. It depends on what game it is. You're allowed to try that up to a certain point.
I think some of them even force you to try it before you buy it.
Yeah, I think so too. To see if your internet is fine and if the game is satisfactory to you playing it like that. You have that option. You didn't even have that option with Stadia at all. So it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shot themselves in the foot. They fucked up. This is how it is.
Anyways, you guys have anything else to say on Stadia?
No.
The stupid.
No. I did think of one other thing that kind of came up this week in news. So Pilot Wings comes out on NSO this week, which is a pretty I'm excited for it because I love Pilot Wings 64, and it hasn't been released on the Virtual Console on any of the systems previously. So I haven't played it since the N64, so I am pretty excited for this to come out. But apparently it got a pretty significant upgrade. I don't know if you guys saw this. By significant, I mean, it up-res, it looks pretty nice. You just have much better draw distance and things like that. But it's also running at 60 frames a second, which the original didn't either. A couple websites did side-by-sides from the new footage that Nintendo put out versus the original. And it's striking. It actually looks so nice. I was really impressed. But I'll probably dabble on it this week when it comes out. I think it comes out Thursday or Friday. I don't remember when they do their NSO releases. It's not your traditional day. I know that, but yeah. So that's pretty exciting. If you were excited for Pilot Wings, you can go. What was it? They had the Mount Rushmore thing. They launched the people from the canon in the Mount Rushmore. I don't think I ever got through all that game though. There's a lot to do.
That was one of my dad's favorites.
I remember one more thing when you're finished with that.
Yeah,
go on.
Did you guys see the next Splatfest got announced?
Oh yeah.
For Pokemon.
I was going to ask you guys, which team are you going to pick this time?
I'm going Quaxley, baby.
So water?
Yeah, water.
Because I guess so. I mean, I know the theme that the picture they showed off shows who you're going to be fire, grass, water, and then they kind of show the silhouettes of the new Pokemon. But other artwork, they include all the starters from Gen 1, everything.
Yeah.
So it's really are you gonna? It's what criteria you're going to use to decide which color you're going to go with. Are you going to base it just on who you're going to go with for Scarlet Violet? Are you going to go with all best of all time? Are you going to choose based on what Big Man says? Tons of options.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably either going to do water or grass.
Yeah, I'm doing water for sure.
Yeah. Probably water.
Because I feel like most of my starters are either in that area anyways, either water or grass. Bulbasaur is the best Pokemon ever created. So I mean that would make me lean towards grass. But I really am not a big fan of Sprigatito or whatever.
Sprigatito.
I think what it is, Sprigatito. I don't even remember what the fire one is for this one. Which is the actual Pokemon I'm probably going to pick as a starter for this game.
Let's see. Oh, I'm done. I ain't got nothing else.
All right. You guys ready to wrap up?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We also have the website game-crunch.com where you can check out our latest episodes. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send us email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon,
Hi.
any final thoughts?
Nope.
Huh?
I'm
Nick?
tired.
Nada.
All right. Well, that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
Game.
Bye-bye.
I gotta talk about this when we talk about Stadia.
Oh, dude, we gotta talk about Steam Deck. When we talk about Steam Deck, I gotta tell you what happened with Valve's official web page and their video advertising.
Yes,
Did you hear about
I
it?
did.
Oh my god, it's so fucking
What I
funny.
specifically want to talk about with Stadia is today Google announced a new line of Chromebooks that all that all use Xbox, xCloud, NVIDIA GeForce Now, and Luna.
Yikes.
Woo! Baby.
Yikes.